My father, Russell Dilday, was the best dad a girl could ever ask for. Daddy was a family man. He was invested in us as kids, as young adults. To other people, my dad may have been their pastor. He may have been their seminary president. He may have been someone who led them spiritually through their ministry. To us, he was our dad.
To me, Russell became a friend. I enjoyed always visiting with him. He was always eager to hear about me and what was going on in my life. He was always willing to and receptive to share an encouraging word.
Buckner was a part of our family from the very beginning. Even when I was a little girl, Dad would take us to the Baptist Haven. The elderly people at Buckner were as important to my dad as the new babies that were born in our church, the new families, those that were always, joining our church. Everyone was important to him. When my mom, Betty Dilday, passed away, it was so hard. And they were a team, and it was really hard on my dad. I would have loved for him to have lived with us, stayed with us, been a part of our home. But he always wanted his own space, his own place. When I approached Dad about the possibility of Ventana, I was able to tell him, Ventana is a Buckner benevolence facility. So it always felt like a part of us, what we had always known. When Dad would visit with people and they would say, "Where are you living?" He never said Ventana. He would say, "I'm at the Buckner place."
Russell Dilday was a recipient of our Buckner Senior Care and Assistance Program. We worked with Russell and his family to make sure that his means fit in with their ability to make sure that he was taken care of without being a tremendous burden upon them.
Well, I don't think anyone ever thinks their parents will go through something like dementia. I don't have to tell you how educated my dad was, how smart he was. To lose your ability to reason and to understand is a really hard thing to watch your parents go through. I don't wish that on anybody. It's a beating. It's a beating. I guess for me, I really wanted to protect him and keep him from any form of embarrassment or misunderstanding. And so when we talked about where should Dad live these last years of his life, it was so important for it to be a place that respected him. David Mann has been such a part of my dad's feeling comfortable at Ventana. And what impressed me the most about David was his ability to see Dad for who he was.
And one of the things that always impressed me about Russell is that he had such an awesome voice. He loved to sing. And anytime we were singing, he would come, and when I would ask them what their favorite song was, Russell always wanted to sing "Blessed Assurance, Jesus is Mine."
But as the dementia progressed, we realized he needed more assistance. And that is so hard to admit, to be a part of, but I knew it was the right thing for Dad. And so one of the best things about Ventana are the levels of care that you can get for your family.
I take my responsibility of journeying with people in grief very seriously. When I know that someone is declining or entering those last months or weeks or even days, I make it my personal policy to do the best I can to journey with those folks, to know them, to know what's important to them, to try to be an encourager to them, to try to help them not to be afraid of death, but to see death as the doorway into eternity.
He was able to continue singing and praising God there at Ventana, which was his lifelong goal. And the ladies who cared for him those last few days of his life not only surrounded his bedside with prayer, but they comforted me, my sister, my husband, my children, Dad's grandchildren. We all felt loved and appreciated at Ventana.
And I remember one day we found this video of Russell, I believe it was speaking at a Founders Day program at Southwestern Seminary. And so we pulled it up on YouTube and put it on the television. And by that time, Russell wasn't always engaging a lot, but all of a sudden he lit up like a Christmas tree. And he looked at the TV screen with the biggest smile on his face, and he says, "That's me. That is me."
And so I know, looking back on those last few days, I have no regrets. I know he felt comfortable and loved. And that's really all that you want those last few days. He was a diehard Baptist, but Dad was a Christian first, and he loved the impact that Buckner had on the community around us, children and families, and the things that Jesus commanded us to do for our brothers and sisters here in our community. So for us to come full circle to the end of his life, and for Dad to be a part of a Buckner community, was the perfect ending of his life, of his journey, of his ministry journey. This was what his life was about: to care for others, to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with the world around us. I miss my dad so much. We were very close, and I feel like one of the things I think about the most is, Dad, did I do right by you? Did I make the last few years of your life meaningful and as happy as they could have been? And I know that he would say, yes, you did exactly what I would have wanted.